completely understand and respect why people don't like defnoodles. That is perfectly fine. I'm not here to change your mind on the subject. So now that we got that shit out of the way, let's really talk about it. Defnoodles, he really goes in on fucking KEEMSTAR. And this is the thing that gets on my nerves about Ethan. When Ethan goes in on KEEMSTAR, it's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's sad. It's sad, it's boring, yawn. What we're doing here is we're gonna laugh our fucking ass off because this shit is fucking hilarious as shit. We're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Anyway, folks, KEEMSTAR went on the No Jumper podcast, and in true KEEMSTAR fashion, he said a whole bunch of lies.
Jesus Christ, like he just goes to fuck in. Look, he's pissed. Look at his face. Like, this is not an act. Like, this guy is pissed. I'm here for the bullshit.
He was pushing you to do as good a job as possible because you had a little young, attractive whippersnapper barking at your heels.
Yeah. Now I don't know what the motivation is.
The T channels. Making sure Daphoenixdiva doesn't take your spot.
Well,
you see, folks, contrary to KEEMSTAR, I believe that there's enough room for everybody in this business. In fact, I encourage everyone to start a channel and start talking about this because I believe that diversity of voices is only going to enrich the dialogue that we all have together. But KEEMSTAR doesn't believe that, folks. KEEMSTAR is a monolith. He's ancient. He's basically a dinosaur at this point. And he's
He just goes in with the reeds. Like, he's not holding any punches.
And he's cowering in a corner, terrified he may one day lose his spot when, in fact, nobody gives a flying fuck.
Just read the fuck out of him. Didn't even take a breath. Just read him to fucking filth.
Not like, does it ever make you feel like, what is the position, like what is Drama Alert's role when you have 5 million other channels who are basically trying to do the same sort of thing?
I don't think any of those T channels or drama channels are seen as like fellow YouTubers amongst the stars, if you will.
You know, it's funny that KEEMSTAR makes that point, folks, because I know at least a few different channels who have way more access to people than he could ever have. You have to remember, folks, KEEMSTAR is a dinosaur. He's been around for like 15, 20 years. Yes, he may know some people, but there are plenty more people who wouldn't talk to them, not even if their life depended on it. And for him to pretend like he's the gatekeeper of this entire community, as though people have to go through him to have access to the tea commentary and drama community, is perhaps the most idiotically pretentious thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Dennis is 100% telling the truth. Do y'all remember when Lindsay Lohan reached out to John Swan over the Susie Lou thing? This whole T channels not talking to celebrities and things like that, that is total fucking bullshit.
Thing that I recall you saying was that Defnoodles was kind of fucking the game up because all these stories that you would be working on developing so you could give the full story at the end of the day on Drama Alert, if you have somebody who's got a big following and they're just sort of blasting out all these stories all the time, all day on Twitter, you know, that could help somebody build up their name, but then also, like, you know, it's tougher to monetize when all these stories are already fully fleshed out on Twitter throughout the day.
Well, he was putting out a lot of misinformation too.
People really need to stop with this false narrative that everybody is on Twitter. Now, let me tell you why I check Twitter. I check Twitter now because I do this shit. How am I supposed to get information and build a show to do for you guys if I'm not on fucking Twitter? So yeah, I'm on fucking Twitter. If everybody is on Twitter and stories are getting all destroyed and flushed out because everybody's on fucking Twitter, then Bo Blacks wouldn't have a fucking career because Bo Black's fucking career is recording the shit that happens on Twitter. So if everybody's on fucking Twitter, then what's the point of fucking Bo Blacks? You're so fucking stupid. Like, Bo Blacks is a 100K channel. I don't even know what number he is, but that's not the point. And his content is fucking Twitter! So no, you dumb fuck. It doesn't matter if Defnoodles is blasting shit on Twitter or if Dennis was blasting shit on Twitter or blasting shit on Instagram. It doesn't fucking matter if he was or not. You even sound even more stupid because there's so many bloggers that post news all the time on Instagram and Twitter. So they gotta go too because they're fucking up all the news and they're fucking up all the content because all these bloggers and all these blogging channels are tweeting shit on the news, so all the news networks need to stop fucking tweeting so they don't fuck up the news. Yes, CNN, get off Twitter. Yes, Fox News, get off Twitter. Everybody get off Twitter because apparently people aren't fucking Twitter, so it messes up the news. You're a fraud.
How many times did Defnoodles like put out a story that was just blatantly wrong or false? And
now, folks, I'm glad that KEEMSTAR brought this up because getting stories wrong is truly worthy of criticism. However, the whole narrative behind what he just said is absolutely blown out of proportion to the point where it completely ignores instances where there were mistakes made on the Defnoodles Twitter account. They were diligently corrected. Now, there were 2 mistakes that were truly worthy of criticism. They were 2 allegations in a sea of about 20 against James Charles. One One where somebody straight up lied about their interaction with James Charles, and another that was just a joke.
Am I wrong? Is this the first time he's actually admitting to fucking up? And I think it should be recognized.
Quickly published, retracting the story and correcting the record, but they were also covered in a video in July. Now, to say that any of the DefNoodles accounts publish misinformation has to be one of the most dishonest and slimy arguments that anybody can make against DefNoodles. That person probably doesn't follow any of the DefNoodles social accounts, because anybody who follows this channel or the Twitter or the Instagram knows for a fact every single post that goes up on a DefNoodles account has a receipt or evidence attached to it. And the reason for that is in early 2020, I had a meeting with my lawyer, and he explained to me that the best way for me to run this business was to attach supporting documents, reports, statements from people to every single thing I post on Twitter and Instagram. That's why every single thing I posted usually had some kind of...
Okay, what he's about to say is 100% true.
Statements from people to every single thing I post on Twitter and Instagram. That's why every single thing I posted usually had some kind of picture or a video, and it had somebody else's statement that was alleging that or saying whatever they were saying, because I'm not making those allegations. It's somebody else, and I'm just presenting that information. And same thing with my videos, folks. There's a reason why you watch the clip and then you see me talk, because I'm presenting what was said. I'm presenting whatever the facts are of the situation, and then I'm having my opinion or my joke following it. And with all that being said,
the only time he can get in trouble for it if he says it's a fact that he's backing this person up and saying it. Did he make mistakes? Did he make errors? Yes, the fuck he did.
Said when there is a mistake made on the DefNoodles account, it is worthy of criticism, and I welcome that criticism. However, folks, you have to understand that when KEEMSTAR talks about my business in any capacity, he is extremely biased, and he has a profound interest in trying to destroy any possibility of my business growing, and he does this thoroughly on his Twitter, and as you can see here on the No Jumper podcast, any opportunity he can, he will try to shit and diminish the credibility of my business, because he doesn't want competition in this space. He is weirdly competitive. He doesn't want anybody to have a piece of the pie. In fact, KEEMSTAR is so out of his fucking mind when it comes to competition, folks, that even though we had spoken for literally months over DMs, we have each other's phone numbers, we texted, we even talked on the phone several times, one time for almost an hour.
Do I have people's phone numbers? Yes, I do. I'm not going to reveal whose phone number I have, whose phone number I don't have. I remember one time, I won't name who it was, but it was one of the times when Cody left Twitter, and an individual reached out to me saying, hey, I want to make sure that Cody's okay, yada, yada, yada. I was like, no problem. Me and Cody, it's like, Cody's my best friend. Like, fast. Cody's my best friend. So I have Cody's phone number. We call, we talk, we text all the time. Like, Cody is literally my best friend. That's my bitch, okay? So I took the DMs and I texted it to Cody. I was like, hey, Cody, this individual is trying to reach out to you. This is what they said. What do you want me to say? And Cody's like, hey, give that individual my phone number. So before I gave the individual Cody's phone number, I took a screenshot of Cody telling me to give this person their phone number, and then I gave them Cody's phone number. I covered my motherfucking bases, because I was like, I'd be fucking damned if anybody says that I'm giving out people's phone numbers. Giving somebody your phone number is very personal in this space. So for the fact of the matter that Def and Keem had each other's phone number and they were calling each other, where up until this point it was literally presented as, oh, we DM'd each other a couple of times, da 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 da. It wasn't that serious. No, bitch, y'all were texting and calling each other and kikiing. But that's just my opinion.
Cody here. Someone in the chat asked about my album, and this is what Diva said.
Speaking about the album, I have heard. I've heard the songs. I've heard the songs that are coming, by the way. Cody sends me the songs. So if y'all don't realize how close we are, bitch, I've heard the songs. Okay? So that's where we're at.
She has heard the songs. That's my best fucking friend. Of course she's heard my songs. Okay, bye.
Even though we had somewhat of an acquaintance with each other, the minute that Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas started retweeting me, he absolutely lost his shit, even though I had nowhere near the same relationship that I had with KEEMSTAR. Like, I actually kind of knew KEEMSTAR. I had never even spoken to Ethan or Trisha.
I feel like this is the most honest I've ever heard this man talk.
And he fucking lost his shit to the point where he DM'd me this. this.
You have lost your motherfucking way and you have lost your motherfucking mind. The day has come, Dennis, and when it comes, I want you to know it was me. What? No comment? Why are you working for Ethan and Trisha?
I totally ignore those DMs, folks. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Reassure some insecure 40-year-old man having a midlife crisis in his home office, trembling because one guy is making videos in the same segment as him? Oh, man, was so fucking pathetic. Anyway, the next day, he did DM me again, and not really apologizing, but just kind of acknowledging that he had a mental breakdown and that it's not normal to do what he did.
I'm just saying, I would have a conversation with this person. That other shit that he was doing a couple months back, I wouldn't have had a conversation with him.
And from that day on, folks, this motherfucker started attacking me constantly, non-stop on his Twitter. And even though I have done things that are worthy of criticism, a lot of the things that he would attack me for were completely fabricated, out of his mind, just off his rocker bullshit. Published 5 consecutive false stories, and he only provides one that isn't even a story. I was just saying that it was a joke in bad taste.
Perry, she freaks out and runs away saying, oh my god.
This wasn't even a news story. This was just pointing out that this joke aged really poorly, especially considering the entire scandal that David was embroiled in earlier this year. It's just pointing out, it says aged like milk, and it just describes exactly what's happening in the clip. And of course, it's fake. Everybody knows that the content that David makes is pre-planned. And you know, just to avoid confusion, at the very end of the thread, I added a comment explaining that the bit was pre-planned so that people weren't confused. But that wasn't the only time this inbred Sean Hannity tried to spin this narrative, folks.
This inbred Sean Hannity. Not inbred Sean Hannity.
Because a bit after that, he took this tweet of mine covering comments made by Logan Paul about Bryce Hall's payment for the YouTube versus TikTok boxing event, and he literally tried to make it seem as though I made the statement, to completely ignore the fact that I'm covering Logan Paul's statements, and this is what my tweet said.
Content 4K, Bryce Hall allegedly lied about getting offered $5 million to fight Austin McBroom. Logan Paul alleges Bryce's contract was only $2 million, but they said it was $5 million for perceived value and clout.
Now, I don't know if this is some kind of parody or if he's trying to be funny, but the fact that he literally said something in the caption of his tweet that is completely contradicted by the screenshot of my tweet with the fact that it has the actual video embedded in the tweet where Logan Paul says the comments, it just adds an extra level of irony. But folks, Keemstar knows that the vast majority of people are just going to read the fucking caption. In fact, that is what the vast majority of people did. If you go through his comments on that tweet, there may be just a handful of people who are like, dude, did you actually read what the tweet says?
Hiding behind allegedly when the truth could have been obtained with a little research still makes you in the wrong. Did you not read what Def posted? The story was actually about Logan making that comment about Bryce's contract on Today's Impulsive. Def added allegedly since he didn't know if it was true. Then Bryce's manager or whoever he is.
I agree with that one. Yeah, like when they went after him for this one, I thought it was bullshit.
So he literally must be in fucking love with me because he wants me thinking about him all the fucking time because he's lying about me all the fucking time. I'm like, dude, leave me the fuck alone, Keem. Fuck, don't you have a new girlfriend? Bro, jeez.
It feels from the outside looking in, the dude like a hitman squad on the internet went after him to take him out.
Right.
And he hurried up and got scared and changed his whole persona. Like what?
Like
what happened?
I gotta be honest with you folks, I can't hate Keemstar right now. I have to appreciate a fan that is this passionate and dedicated to defnoodles.
He's had enough.
His free time trying to understand why I killed off the character when I literally explained just a few videos ago that it was because I wanted to be myself, and it feels so much more freeing to be myself.
Losing the Twitter just shocked him so much that he just was like, you know what, this whole thing is a bad idea.
The only bad idea was me playing a fucking character and not being my fucking self.
That is the fucking truth, which is why I refuse to play a character.
How fucking difficult it is to not be your fucking self all the fucking time for about 10 hours a day when you're fucking making videos and you just want to say the fuck once. I just had to be myself. It just feels more natural to be this. I understand all the speculation. Oh, why did he quit? There were people who literally thought I was going to retire my entire fucking channel. No, folks, I'm literally doing the exact same thing, except now I'm actually me.
Have you seen his new content?
I saw the video about not being defnoodles anymore, but I didn't see any of the new videos.
It's so weird when he's talking and he's just him and he's like calm and I don't know what that is. I can't believe people are still watching him.
Folks, I want to take a moment right now and acknowledge a very special person in the audience right now, KEEMSTAR, who apparently follows
This is my favorite part.
every single one of my steps, watches every single one of my videos. I want to thank you for being such a loyal fan, and I want to share a very special message with you. Hey, KEEMSTAR, how you doing? Heard you've been running your mouth about me. How about you go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit? Go have a fucking awful day.
That's all I have for y'all.